So you're just gonna do my job or what? My aunt Skeleton is trying to replace me. But you know, this is my job. It needs to get out of my chair. So let's relocate him real quick. There are worse things than a skeleton taking over your life or hiding in your closet. And there are a lot of shows, and within this video, that are going to terrify the shit out of you. Let's go ahead and get started. Hello, beautiful people. If you're new to this channel, my name is Sierra. This is Sierra Reads, and on this channel, I love to talk about books and honoring Black women as multifaceted characters through writing and through reading. And if you're not new, hey, how you doing? Hope you're having a lovely day. And hi, Mom. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be obviously smaller. Actually, I'm not even in the film at all. I can't edit for nothing. I'm still very new, so you're just gonna see pictures. So when you see me, I'm gonna be in the corner talking, but I'm going to prefer to put more images up of just shows and movies that I've seen before. Maybe that'll get you a little bit more intrigued and like interested just by looking at them versus looking at my face all the time, you know? So that's just what's gonna be going on in this video. Alright, so the first show on the list is The Haunting of Hill House, and this show follows a very terrifying night for a family that a husband ends up taking all of his children out of the house because their mom is possessed. So the show covers the lives of each of the children and how their lives have drastically changed from living in the house, and some of the siblings have a lot of deep connections to the house that literally messes with their head, and their relationships with each other are just not the best. I'm gonna put images up of just showing like the different characters and what you can expect. It's a very dark show. It's created by Mike Flanagan. I love Mike Flanagan's work. It's just a lot. I don't want to cover so much in detail and like give it away or anything. But if you're familiar with his work, then you know what to expect. It's very dark, very gruesome, scary. Mind you that I was terrified a little bit because the tall dude in the corner, ooh, I don't like him at all. I don't like him at all. But this show is amazing. Like, the detail is amazing. The storytelling is amazing. My favorite scene, for those who haven't seen it before, you're going to get to it, but is at the funeral house, at the funeral home. That's my favorite scene because, especially with the cinematography of the camera like spinning and just turning around in each scene until you see a certain character in it, and it just shows like the family always like constantly going in circles, going through turmoil, going through struggles. Their struggles with their relationships with each other, a lot of arguing, fighting, and everything for what happened within the house, and their dynamics with each other and their father and everything like that. You just see the camera keep spinning around and you're like, oh God, she's there. She's there. It's not like a huge jump scare, but it's like, ooh, yeah, I don't like it. It makes you feel like, ooh, I don't like that, but it's such a good scene. I love the cinematography of it. I believe it's an amazing show. I believe everyone should watch it. Watch it in the daytime, though. You should watch it in the daytime. Just make sure there's like no windows open because then you won't be able to see it. A lot of Mike Flanagan's work is done in the dark. So it's a lot of dark scenes, obviously, because it's a scarier show. But you won't be able to see it with your blinds open. You know what I mean. The next show on the list is The Fall of the House of Usher, which is another Mike Flanagan show. And this one follows I guess like a curse that is on this family and the struggles of pretty much of just like showcasing their value and their worth to their father, and ultimately the demise of the entire family, which is literally the fall of the House of Usher, the ending of the Usher family, the ending of each and single person through each episode, while also learning a little bit of the backstory of how they got there in the first place. It's a very good show. Scary, again. It is obviously scary. But all of the characters are completely twisted, but they're all like clinging to like this hope of like, hopefully my dad like will not only just like give me money, but like kind of like validate me. So I feel like a lot of it's just like wanting to be validated, wanting to be seen by their father. And their aunt is literally one of my favorite people. She is very straightforward, she's very blunt, she can be cold, but she gets it done. She does what needs to be done. She holds that family together, to be quite honest. I'm just gonna put up images so you guys can see like the different characters, the kind of energy you're kind of getting while you're watching the show. So if that is something that you're interested in, please check it out. Both shows, Haunting of Hill House and The Fall of the House of Usher, are on Netflix. Next up is The Haunting of Bly Manor. So this one follows Danny, who is going to be a nanny essentially for a little girl and a little boy. And their parents are dead. They live in a huge house. They live in a house called Bly Manor with a chef and like a groundskeeper. So it's kind of like, you know, a group of adults that are taking care of the house while also taking care of the kids. So Danny's there to be the nanny, and there's a lot of secrets within that house. A lot of secrets, a lot of ghosts, and a lot of murder, to say the least. Another Mike Flanagan show, another amazing piece. My favorite episode is hands down, I think it was like episode like 6 or 7. I'm trying to remember the number of the episode, but it's literally the backstory episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor and how it came to be. That's hands down my favorite episode because it kind of humanizes the ghosts in the house, especially the main ghost, and how she literally, her brain started to deteriorate in even her life before then as well, and the curse of the land pretty much. Another show on the list is Midnight Mass, another Mike Flanagan show. This one follows our main character, who is out of jail, and he now goes to AA after killing a girl, you know, with his car, obviously. It was a car accident, ended up killing a girl, and he sees the girl all the time around him, and he's really struggling with that sense of like a lot of weight on him, the responsibility, and just a lot going on for him mentally. But when he goes back to his hometown, there's a lot of weird things going on. There's a new pastor there. There's a lot of religious aspects of it because it is midnight mass, and things just take a completely different turn. I'm gonna put up images, of course. You're not gonna see my entire face. You're gonna see me in the corner right over here. Hi, that type of thing. It's just really obviously dark. I don't know, I keep saying dark, but it made me think a lot because I'm not a religious person, so I really had to like think about what what the pastor was like saying, and what freaking, I think her name was like Elizabeth, not Elizabeth, Beth. You'll see the character what I'm talking about, and how she's like so like self-righteous, and it's so annoying. It's so freaking annoying. God, I hate her so much. But the actress has done other amazing work. She was in another show that I watched, and she was so good in it too. So it's like she knows how to piss me off. Amazing show. Religious implications, obviously, and just a lot of weirdness. Just really weird. I watched it with my boyfriend. It's on Netflix as well. And it took a lot of thinking and just like understanding of what was happening, where certain characters were going, why certain characters were getting miracles and who weren't, and like, you know, like who was getting like a, not necessarily a curse, but like those who are being harmed while those who are getting miracles. Like, what was the point of it? Like, why that person got a miracle, why that person didn't. Last show on the list is The Midnight Club. Spoiler, this show was canceled, so if you're like, oh my god, this is amazing, I want more, you're not getting any more. Trust me, I watched this show and I'm livid. I'm livid because it's such an amazing show and it could have been, so much could have been done with it. I'm just saying, Netflix can sometimes kiss my ass. Ugh. But it follows a group of teenagers who live in a house who are all suffering with cancer. But they entertain themselves and get, you know, they entertain themselves by telling ghost stories, while at the same time there's some weird stuff going around in the house that they're in. And, you know, they tell these ghost stories at midnight, called the Midnight Club. That's just like the very short, cute, you know, short premise of it. It's a lot of spooky things going on. I was so excited to see more of like, oh my god, like what's actually happening in the house. Like, not only their ghost stories are freaking amazing, but what's actually happening in the house as well. Like, I know they're like going through a lot with suffering with cancer. They're trying to cope with it by telling stories, getting to know, you know, some of them are, you know, our main character, she's a newer patient within the house, so she's getting to know everybody else. Everyone else has known each other for a little bit at least, but still like growing connections and growing relationships. Well, also some other creepy stuff is going on too as well. Like, I was ready for it, but you know, whatever. Whatever, Netflix, you can kiss my ass sometimes. But amazing show if you're like not bothered by the fact that it's not going to be continued. If you're still interested in it, by these photos and everything, feel free to go ahead and check them on out. Moving on to movies. So our first movie on the list is The Babadook. And The Babadook is some type of spirit entity thing that lives in this house with a mom and her young son. The father has passed away some time ago. And it's just weird. It's really weird. It's very scary. But I think there's a lot of messages in there of like grief related to as well, along with this being, this spirit that's around them. Even then, like after watching the movie, I still like end up looking up like every other day of like what it actually was, like what what was the whole point of the Babadook type of thing. Like, was it like words, was it just like a tough time for the family struggling with losing the husband slash father? Was it like a way of grieving? Like, what was like the actual connection to it? Maybe it was like the mental health aspect of it, which is like more of like that representation versus like a straight up like ooh, like a ghost or something, like a spirit. I'm always like looking up to see like exactly what the whole connection is, but it's an amazing movie. I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix for now. I don't know if it's still gonna be there. You can check Hulu sometime soon. If you don't see it on Netflix, check Hulu, check Paramount Plus, or if all else fails, just buy the movie on YouTube and just watch it that way. But either way, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Next up is one of my absolute favorite movies, and that is Before I Wake. So Before I Wake follows our main character, essentially, our main character. When I say he's the main character? Yeah, he is the main character. So it follows a little boy who is put, not up for adoption. He is now staying with the family. He is in the foster system, but he ends up staying with the family who has these dreams. His dreams tend to come to life. But there's also his nightmares come to life too as well. So there's something that comes with his dreams. It comes with him as he sleeps. So the family that takes him in, they start to see like butterflies. They're like, oh my god, this is so weird, this is crazy. But then they start to see like a dark entity spirit thing around. But this only happens when he sleeps. When he's awake, it's completely fine. It just happens when he's asleep. And this thing can do things. That's all I got to say. I don't want to spoil it, but it's so good. I love all of the characters. I love the little boy in it. And the twist at the ending, oh, it just hurts my heart. Oh, it just hurts my heart. But it's so freaking good. I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. I doubt they're ever gonna take it off. I think it's a Netflix original movie, so it's gonna be on Netflix. All right, you guys, now you can see my full face. You can see all of this. It looks amazing, doesn't it? Those are all the movies and all the TV shows that I will recommend. This is completely biased. This is just based off the shows and the movies that I've seen that I highly recommend. After editing this, there are a lot more movies that I wanted to add, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do a part 2. If there are any recommendations you have, you can drop them in the comments below, because I am always looking for creepy shows to watch and scary movies to watch, because I love to scare myself shitless. I hope you have an amazing month. I hope you have an amazing day. And until next time, bye.